اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا.
All right, without further ado, let's discuss this, the story of the adulterous woman. Let's go and find out where it is. Let's go to John 8. There we go. And share screen just to build up as to what we're talking about. This is the story. John 8. These are the first few verses from 1 to 11. While Jesus went to the Mount of Olives early in the morning, scribes and Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery. This woman was caught in a very act of committing it. Law of Moses commanded us strict this. Neither do I condemn you. Go your way, and from now on, do not sin again. That's the end of it. All right. Now, let's come here and see what it says right here. This is the footnote. All right. It says the most ancient authorities lack 753 all the way to 811. Other authorities add the passage here or after 736 or after 2125 or after Luke 2138 with variations of text. Some mark the passage as doubtful. It's right here. You can read it. All right. Now we're going to go to Codex Sinaiticus just for the sake of it. I'm pretty sure you guys can see the screen. Let's go to see the manuscript. Let's go to John. Let's go to chapter 8, and you're going to be in for a surprise. Here we go. Oh, let me make the screen. It's way too big right now. Here we go. All right. All right. This is the part which we have to focus on. All right. It says here, if you see at the very bottom right, I'd say it's 751, 752, and then it picks up at 812. So this is not mentioned in the earliest manuscript right here. All right. You can zoom it up if you want right here. There we go. It's not present there. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about why, how, and what's the implication for all of this. All right. Let's begin with the first picture. Excuse me. Sorry. I also want to give credit where it's due. There's a brother called, he has a TikTok handle of Canadian Psycho. I have taken the pictures from him. I've made my own presentation, but for some reason, I'm not able to share keynote presentations on StreamYard. So I'm in the middle of doing that on PowerPoint. But this is where the credit is due. I'm pretty sure he has spent at least 2 weeks finding these things, which are very hard, and doing this. And I tried to do it with the help of his work, directly going to those links and trying to get help from one of my Greek friends. And he's an atheist now, and matching the text with that and trying to screenshot and capture and do photography of my own for the text and then include it. That's the first thing, the disclaimer. Just want to put it here actually. All right, let me add this as a banner. Here we go. That's the first thing out of the way. Second thing, this was the most important thing. The second thing is that people say that, this story was there. It's called Pericope Adulterae. And Augustine knew it very well, and Papias knew it very well, which is Papias almost certainly did not know it. Augustine knew it very well, but Augustine is middle 4th century to, let's say, a quarter of 5th century. He died around 430, right? And he quotes it in his works. However, Papias did not know about it. And also the manuscripts we have, this appears in 5th century, if I'm not mistaken. So we have to keep that into account. And let's find out. We're going to discuss some patristic evidence for it and primary source quotations for this. All righty. So we're going to discuss this first, but we're going to go. Just a second. Here we go. Let's do this. Where did it go? Oops, sorry. Let's put this here. Not here. Can't seem to find it. Anyways, so this is here we go. Let's put this up. And now we can begin. Sorry. So this is one of the earliest source. Let's try to find out. Actually, let's go from the beginning. Let's do. Oh, no. Stop there. We can actually start from there. It's not a big deal. All right, so this is one of the earliest Syriac manuscript, the Sinaitic Syriac from the 4th century. It omits these verses. Our second earliest Syriac manuscript, Gospels of the 5th century, also omits these verses. Moving on to the next one. So this talks about Codex Vercellanus. And this one also talks about, having the Coptic, the Syriac, and other versions having a mention of this. Let's remove these ones. We can add more. This is mid 4th century, so around 350. This is our earliest Old Latin manuscript of John, and it also omits these verses. Then you got the Bodmer III papyrus of the 4th century. That is also our earliest Coptic Sahidic manuscript of John. This also omits these verses. Turn this off. It's on for no reason. Here we go. Sometimes, TikTok is just a distraction. You're trying to get to something, you gotta. Okay. Let's go to Codex W, and I'm gonna go through all of them once again, just so that you guys can make notes if you want to. This is the 5th century, and if you can see from after the green of 52, it starts with verse number 12. Moving ahead, more. This is another codex of the 8th century, and this is the second earliest Greek manuscript that contains these verses. Interestingly enough, it marks these verses, which is used to indicate a suspicion right here with the yellow highlights. Coming to one of the giants, Codex Vaticanus. Obviously didn't have these verses, just like we saw that the Codex Sinaiticus didn't have this. If you can see the top, after the green ones, the red ones are beginning with 8:12. And we're going to come back to Codex Sinaiticus, but let's do Codex Argentus first. It's just how the pictures are saved in my Mac. This is the 6th century one. It also omits these verses. It's not to be found. And this is P66, one of the earliest of the works. This is the 3rd century one, which is somewhere between 200 something, and they don't have this at all. It just ends at 752 and 812 begins. And this was added in the middle when they were saying that they have the 100% of the work, like Westhoff said. This is what I was talking about. There is another 9th century codex which omits these verses. It's not there. And I think we saw this one. Codex Monacensis, a Latin manuscript from 6th and 7th century. This also omits these verses. Just want to get all of this out so we can make a nice video, trim it, and stuff. This is Codex N of the 6th century. This also omits these verses. Another 5th century manuscript, which omits these verses right after 752, 812 begins. This is the minuscule 3 of the 12th century. It omits these verses. So this has been a point of debate after it was accepted, so to speak. This is the one we saw, but it's just gonna share it just in case. It's not highlighted. This is Codex Sinaiticus of mid 4th century, our earliest codex, obviously. Two of the codices, Sinaiticus and Vaticanus, are believed to have been the earliest full manuscripts. I can have P75, also very, very early from 3rd century, John 7:8, and it omits these 12 verses, as you can see, after 52:12 begins. This is another gospel, and this one also omits these verses. You can go and check it. Now, coming to a few of the information which I wanted to share. This is one of that. This is the work of Tatian that has run, and it explains how the versions are in multiple languages stood out. 11th century expert discussed these things. And going to scholarship about Codex Alexandrinus and Codex Ephraemi, both 5th century, have, Pericope Adulterae is traditionally found, but many scholars have suggested that they did not originally contain this, like Bruce Metzger. I think he died in 2007, April or something, or January, something like that. You can find his textual commentary on the Greek's New Testament, 1994. I have the PDF of that. Daniel Wallace, the Texan, has written about this as well. Let's do full. There's also a book which you guys can take up. It's in French, but it can be translated. It's a good read if you guys want to just put an end to all this, like why this has been there. And this is a short list of everything that we have discussed about the codices and how when everything is appearing in the context of this. All right. So let me share the screen of as to what we're discussing. Here we go. And yeah, some people say that, Didymus the Blind knew about this. Ambrose reads this as a scripture. Jerome, obviously, but if you are looking into Greek manuscripts, 2nd, 3rd century, then P66 omits these passages. P75 omits them, and major codices like we discussed, right? Vaticanus is not there, Sinaiticus is not there. There's a gap indicating discomfort there. Alexandrinus is 5th century omits these, and the inclusion would be in Codex Bezae in 5th century. It contains a form of the passage, and the story was early circulating but not originally part of John's gospel. And John's gospel was actually considered heterodox and Gnostic up until mid 2nd century. So yeah, James White has written about this. There is internal evidence about the syntax, the grammar, the flow, how these things are made. And you can go into major 4th to 6th century codices. You can go to Sinaiticus, you can go to B, which is Vaticanus, A, which is Alexandrinus, Ephraemi Rescriptus, which is C, Codex L, Codex N, Codex T, Codex W, Codex Delta, Codex Theta. All of these 0141, they all omit these. And some of them have included it with an asterisk, which is like, you can call it questionable authenticity. So this is the gist of it. And we have to look into the vocabulary, which is not typical for John. The syntax is, kind of like Luke's. That's why it's sometimes included in Luke. And the word scribes is not usually used by John. He usually uses the word Pharisees. We can look into external versions like Latin and Syriac, Old Latin versions, Vulgate, the Syriac version, Peshitta, Herculean. Scholarly consensus is that if you look into Bruce Metzger's textual commentary, like I said, the book, The Canon of Scripture, I've shown this before. There's a book called To Cast the First Stone by Wasserman. Comfort, another writer, writes early manuscript and modern translations. The Text of New Testament by Allen and Allen. And you can look into it, but it's missing everywhere. So what can we say? Most Christians, they assume that let the one without sin cast the first stone. It's also, I think, in the movie The Passion of Christ by Mel Gibson in 2004. But the oldest manuscripts, they disagree. And you can see the earliest book of John, and you'll see that it's not there. What else can we talk about? We can, I don't want to be doing a polemic work to the extreme as a Muslim, but this is just a very basic, unbiased, true to the text, what's happening kind of thing.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما